What's going on, Broncos fans? Welcome into another edition of the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, breaking down, peak July NFL news. This is how you know it's a slow month in the NFL world, because this is probably the biggest item in the Broncos news mill, and it is the Russell Wilson drama with Future, the rapper. Now, the background here, in case you're unfamiliar, is Russell Wilson's wife, Ciara, was engaged to the rapper Future. They had a child together. Obviously, that engagement ended, and she went over with Russ, and the rest is history. But Future, I guess, is still a bit salty about losing his girl to Russ, because this is not the first and probably not the last time a subtle jab has been put into one of his song lyrics regarding Russell Wilson. And in his song with Quavo, Turn Yo Click Up, that's quite the title. I got it out the field. Fuck Russell. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, I'm self-admittedly not a huge rap guy. I like rap music, just the popular stuff. I don't listen to like the deep albums or anything like that. But I always wonder, like, how do rappers sit down and put this stuff from pen to paper and have it go, this makes sense? What does I got it out the field even mean? I have no clue whatsoever, but I do know this much. We are standing by Russ. Russ is our guy. This is a Broncos YouTube channel. He is our quarterback. So if anyone slanders Russell Wilson like that, saying I got it out the field, whatever that means, F Russ, fuck you. No. Like, we could poke fun at him from time to time, but you can't come here as an outsider and say that about our quarterback. So I am calling on all of Broncos country officially to ban Future. I don't want to hear it in your AirPods. It can't be in your warm-up music. Nothing. Zilch. Nada. No more Future from this country. It's just the way it has to be. If he wants to take low blows at Russell Wilson like that, we're not going to stand for it. This is a Russell Wilson back show. We are just puppets, essentially, right now for him. So we stand with Russ. If you stand with Russ, too, join the blockade right now for Future. We're going to stand with number 3. He's our guy. He's our guy. Now, with that all being said, I do want to know, who's your favorite artist/rapper of all time? I better not see anyone put Future in the comment section. Not going to be acceptable. Straight delete. For me, love Tom Petty. Old soul in that way. Love Tom Petty. So, as for rapper, Kanye before he got weird and got a little bad. Kanye was definitely up there for me. But let me know who your favorite is in the comment section. Now, shifting gears a little bit from some of the tabloid drama, ESPN did come out with their quarterback rankings. They've been doing positional rankings throughout the entire month of July, and finally they got to the quarterbacks. So I wanted to take a peek at it and see if Russ made it, and if he did, where did he make it? So without further ado, let's look at their top 10. Patrick Mahomes comes in at number 1, to no surprise, followed by Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers comes in at 4. He fell 3 spots from last year. I thought he might be a little bit lower, honestly, but still a recent 2-time MVP winner. Justin Herbert at 5. Jalen Hurts at 6 after being not ranked last year. Listen, Hurts was awesome last year, no doubt about it, no question about it. But you can kind of mark me down as not a big Jalen Hurts believer. Lamar Jackson at 7 after being honorable mention the season prior. Trevor Lawrence spots up at number 8. Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford round out the top 10. It's hard to argue that Russ should be top 10 after last year. Like, I know we just gave one hell of a speech taking Russ's side over Future, no doubt about it. But how can anyone stand here and go, yep, I would take Russell Wilson in 2023 over those 10 players right there? That's a very difficult argument to make after last season. Doesn't mean Russ can't have a complete 180. He has Sean Payton. The clown Hackett is gone. The offensive line's much better. Russell Wilson could be in line for a huge jump up, but I don't think anyone can say that with much confidence, right? With a lot of text and evidence backing them up, if you will. So it's hard to argue. I can't stand here and pretend to be super mad about this. No, Russ is not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. At this moment, he's not. He might get back to the top 10 status, but I think there are 10 better quarterbacks at this point in time. Now, before we get on to the rest of the quarterback rankings and breakdown and analysis, there are some great shirts, these retro t-shirts that are on sale, but I know that the supplies are going to start running very short soon. So make sure you get yours today when you go to chatsports.com/DENretro. That link's in the comments and the description of today's video. So snag your very own Broncos Retro t-shirt. Summer months, it's hot outside. Rep your favorite squad while also staying cool thanks to these great retro t-shirts. Some honorable mentions I wanted to share with you guys here from ESPN. Now, I should have mentioned earlier, these are not ESPN's rankings. ESPN just surveyed and polled a bunch of NFL execs, scouts, personnel, all that stuff, and those were the responses. So ESPN is just more or less administering the survey, and if there's ties, I think they break the ties themselves. But Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Derek Carr, and Tua Tagovailoa round out the 5 honorable mentions. So no Russell Wilson there. It's going to get ugly here because they also had players who received votes. It's like the AP poll. It's always like Boise State, or, is it the bottom or something, receiving votes? Oh, boy. Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, and this one stinks. Geno Smith, the player that Seattle moved up after trading Russell Wilson away. They got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and in the eyes of NFL execs, a better quarterback who was just the backup all along. So this one stinks. There's no other way around it. But like I said, after last season, how can you really argue? Like, sure, would I rather have Russell Wilson or Daniel Jones? Call me biased. I'm still going to go with Russ, mostly because I'm just a big Daniel Jones, doubter, just not a believer in Daniel Jones. I think Geno Smith is going to have a regression this year because I've seen too many years of Geno suck to believe that all of a sudden that he hits the fountain of youth at the age 33, 34. Nah. But I will say, the bounce back season is coming, right? For starters, the bar is not very high. You look at his numbers from last season, he just has to throw more than 16 touchdowns, which was a career low for him, right? Better than 60% completion percentage, one of his career lows. Fewer than 11 interceptions, one of his almost near career high. Because I just have to believe deep down, somewhere in Russell Wilson is this version of Russell Wilson. The guy in his last 4 years in Seattle who put up 25 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns, 31 touchdowns, 34 touchdowns. You might not find that 2020 Russ again, 4,200 yards, 40 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. But if you get 90% of that Russ, this is a very dangerous team. Like, go back in time for a minute. Before Denver got Russell Wilson, the whole conversation was Denver's got a loaded roster. The only thing it's missing is a quarterback. They got Russell Wilson, and unfortunately we know how the following season went. But if we can get back to that point where it's Denver's got a loaded roster, all the offense had to do last year was score 15 points, and they made the playoffs. Like, that's all they had to do because the defense was so incredibly talented. If that team still exists and Sean Payton can get 15 points out of Russell Wilson, this team is a playoff-bound team. Really. I mean, if the defense holds up like it did last season, and there are some changes, no doubt. You lose Evero, but if you can get Russell Wilson to be 90% of what he was in Seattle, I don't see why this team can't go from 5-12 to 10-7. I think they could have that type of big jump in them. Sean Payton did this before in his first year in New Orleans, and I think we might see it again, or at least hopefully in his first year in Denver. So if you believe in Sean Payton fixing Russell Wilson, let's get some threes going in the chat right now. We're standing by our guy Russ today. I know I've definitely been one of his harsher critics, but hey, he's still the quarterback of this team. Type 3 in the comment section if you got optimism that Sean Payton can get that old Russell Wilson back. Time for our summer hot takes to wrap up the show. It's hot today in Denver. High of 99 degrees. Hottest high, hottest day since we started doing these summer hot takes. So this couldn't just be any casual first take hot take. This had to be an extra dose of hot sauce screaming A, skipping Shannon. So how about this one? Russell Wilson jumps 10 plus spots, at least 10 spots, in ESPN's QBR for 2023. Just bear with me here. I want to throw some numbers your guys' direction. Look at Russell Wilson's career in terms of QBR. This is ESPN's QBR. I mean, first year, third in the NFL, 8th, 6th, 4th, 15th. He never went lower than bottom half of the, 15th top half in the NFL. 10th in 2017. And as we get closer to present day, 11th, 5th, 8th, 10th. Maybe you're not getting that top 5 anymore, but if you can get 8 to 12, which he was 3 out of the last 4 years there in Seattle, with this defense and the playmakers on offense and the improved offensive line, this is a 10-win team in my eyes. And then there's the big, ugly 27. And he never got close to 27, even at the lowest of lows in Seattle, right? The lowest QBR ranking he had was 15th. So we have seen some players make the jump before from the depths of ESPN QBR hell towards the top. And I want to share some of these with you guys because very unofficial stats here, but we'll throw it on screen. I went back the last 5, 6, 7 seasons and looked for notable jumps from one season to the next in QBR. Trevor Lawrence went from 28th to 15th, so he jumped 13 spots from his rookie season to his second season. Tua with the Dolphins went from 18th to 3rd. Okay. Carson Wentz, when he went over from, that would have been the Eagles at the time, and he went to the Colts. Went from 28th his last season in Philly to, believe it or not, 9th with the Colts. He just choked those last few weeks in Indy. Otherwise, they were a playoff-bound team. Josh Allen went from 24th to 3rd in his true breakout season. Lamar Jackson, the reason why I didn't say he's going to have the biggest jump in QBR history, I don't know how anyone's going to beat Lamar Jackson. He went from 31st to 1st after his first season into his second season. And then Mitch Trubisky with the Bears went from 28th to 3rd from his first to his second season. So you can pencil me in for believing that Russell Wilson will make 10-plus spots, move up 10-plus spots in his QBR ranking from 27th to, I think, top half of the league, right? With Sean Payton and a better offensive line there, I think we could see Russ have a great bounce-back season and go from 27th to, say, 15th, 14th, 13th, put himself in the top half of the league. So that is my first hot take for this episode. 99 degrees. It had to be hot, and I think that's pretty hot right there. So that will do it for us on today's show. If you made it to the end of the video and you're not subscribed, I gotta envision that you somewhat liked the video, else you wouldn't have watched all the way through. So like the video, subscribe, notifications, all that good stuff. Really appreciate everyone for taking time out of their day to come watch us, and we'll see you guys later.